Thank you for checking out this week's episode of the Weekly Grind Podcast. This is episode number 6 for us, and we will just be talking about our favorite decks of the week, favorite cards of the week, tournament coverage from the Seat Cup, and just be talking about general Hearthstone, competitive Hearthstone information. If you'd like to find us on Facebook, we are at facebook.com/theweeklygrindpodcast, on Tumblr at theweeklygrindpodcast.tumblr.com, and on Twitter at twitter.com/weeklygrindpod. You can also find us on YouTube just by searching in your search bar The Weekly Grind Podcast, and we should pop up there for you, but you can find all that information on our Facebook. Shoutouts this week to our YouTube subscribers, to Sebastian Chica, Giwarios Taxta, and Dijext Potan. Thank you very much for subscribing, and I'm very sorry if I butchered your name, but thank you very much for listening, and we appreciate that very much. By the way, we will be doing that for our first 100 subscribers. We'll be doing shout-outs too. So if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, we will shout you out. And thank you very much for listening, and I hope you enjoy this episode of the podcast. Alright guys, episode 6 of the Weekly Grind Podcast. I am your host, Josh, and my Battle.net name is Spirit Bomb.
My name is Dave, my Battle.net name is Wings of Wax.
And my name is Paul, and my Battle.net name is Rice Cakes.
Alright guys, and moving straight into this, what has been your favorite class this week?
Who are we starting with?
Paul, let's start with Paul.
Okay. I haven't been playing a bunch this week, but I've actually been playing more Arena because, I don't know, it's really fun. And I actually was like living the dream with the Savage Roar and Force of Nature combo in my Arena deck, which is pretty silly.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty sweet.
I went 8-3.
Nice. How about you, Dave?
I have been digging Zoo, but that obviously shouldn't surprise anybody. Other than Zoo this week, I have been playing a lot of Miracle.
Yeah. Miracle's a fun deck too. I'd say my favorite class this week, the one I've been grinding the most, has definitely been the shield block list. I don't really have the new up-and-coming shield block list, but I've been playing the one I have now.
Yeah, there's a new updated one from all the pros.
Yeah, I'll definitely be checking that list out though after this podcast.
It is Show's list, by the way.
Yeah, it looks really cool. It looks like a lot of fun.
Was that on Hearthstone Top Deck?
It is not. It's on his stream, and right now you can watch just about every other streamer at this moment playing his list.
Alright, and moving on to the next segment, we have tournament coverage / news for Blizzard, and what we have is two cool things. The first cool thing is that we have a update on the mobile app that should be released onto iPhones, and I believe also on Android products. And they didn't really give a release date when that should be out, but it's going to be pretty cool when that comes out. What do you guys think? Do you think it'll be difficult to play on your smartphone, or do you think they're gonna make an easy way to just make it more viable?
The screen just feels a little too small.
Yeah.
Not to mention with the time limits on your turn.
I could see it being pretty cool for like casual play, but I don't think I'd play ranked on my phone.
Yeah. What if you like go out of service? You're going through a tunnel and
you're
like, no.
Yeah, you just lose and
well, why would you not just be playing on? I mean, if you'd only play on a stable connection.
I mean, and for me, I'm either at home or at work, and if I'm at home, I'm on my computer.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I'm interested to see what they're gonna do with that. The next thing I wanted to talk about was for they announced the Hearthstone World Championship groups for BlizzCon, and so they have 4 players from each country. They have Americas, Europe, China, and Korea. And just going through the groups, I'll just start from the top. Group A from America is D2. From Europe is Number Guy. From China is Titular Celestial. And from Taiwan is Tom60229. Group B from the Americas is Tari. From Europe is Karor. From China is Nicholas. And from Korea is Renee Auer. Group C from Americas is Firebat. Europe is Green Sheep. China is Quiro. And from Korea is Kranich. And for Group D from the Americas is Strife Crow. From Europe is Kalento. From China is Run and Gun. And from Taiwan is Frozen Ice. Now, looking at this list, I see a lot of names that I've seen in a lot of big name tournaments. What about you guys? I mean, Strife Crow, Kalento, Firebat, Green Sheep, Tiddler Celestial. I believe he was in the WCG tournament.
EC?
Yeah.
So there's only 16 players in this tournament?
Yeah, the BlizzCon tournament's only 16 players.
Wow.
They're broken up into 4 groups, 4 players in each group, 1 from each country.
Huh. That's a crazy format.
Yeah, I think that's going to be really cool. I'm actually excited for it. That's going to be happening on November 2nd and November 3rd? Is
That's
that
next week? No,
Yeah.
2 weeks.
No, that's the... Oh, wait.
November.
Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah. Wait.
What
Yeah,
were the
2 weeks,
dates?
right?
What were the dates?
November 3rd or 2nd and 3rd?
It says the starts on November 2nd and November 3rd at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
It's like a week and a day away.
Yeah. But it says that it concludes November 7th through and November 8th.
Oh, so they're just starting like opening ceremonies and then probably gonna save their.
This is Hearthstone Olympics.
Basically.
That's pretty cool, honestly.
I mean, if they did a winter in a summer, that'd be really sweet. But I don't want to see it come around only every 2 years.
Yeah. So this will be casted by Artosis, Frodan,
That doesn't surprise me.
and Azael, which is pretty
Azael.
cool. I don't think I've heard too much of Azael, but I mean, I know Frodan very well, Artosis very well from just watching them do announcing on different tournaments that they've had. But this should be a really good one. You guys should definitely check it out. This is going to be the premier Hearthstone tournament of the year.
It's taking place in California, right?
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, it's going to be in
At BlizzCon, so yeah, it's in Cali.
Yeah. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely check that out. We'll be talking about it. I might not be able to catch too much of the second and third. The first and the second I will be at Rhode Island Comic Con. So if you guys see me, say hi. Yeah. Let me know what you think about the podcast. So moving on to the next segment, we have the weekly grind, which is basically just talking about what our top decks have been. We're gonna do a metagame breakdown, and I mean that's really it. So Paul, what has been your top performer as far as decks go this week?
It's been like all over the place. Like, I was playing Priest, doing well with it, then getting stomped, and then I switched to Hunter. I don't know who's. I think I got it from Luke. So, but it's
Probably the one that we talked about last week. I don't think we had it on the podcast, but I
No.
know Luke and I were putting.
I don't know.
together
It's
a
pretty
Hunter
sweet.
list.
I like Night Juggler. It's like actually, yeah. I'm gonna switch my favorite card to that. For now.
We haven't gotten there yet. But
Whatever. It just reminded me.
So Paul's favorite card for this week will remain a secret.
Hey, it could change like in 5 seconds.
So you've been digging the Hunter lately this week?
Yeah.
I mean, I know why you've been seeing Priest fall out of favor, just because a lot of people are playing playing Warrior lately, because the show Warrior list has been popping up a lot, and like it's got it's got some new cards in it, like Hogger, which I know you guys are dying to put that into your
Dude,
Warrior
I have a golden
list.
one.
It also plays Baron-Geddon, and
I have one.
It cuts unstable ghouls for.
So it's a deck Dave can't play.
It's only because I don't have Hogger and Baron-Geddon, but I can still play without them. The deck is still fine. It's just the Hogger is there for the Hunter matchup, and the Baron-Geddon is there for all the aggressive
The zoo.
matchups. Yeah. But it also cut the unstable ghouls in that Warrior list for Ironbeak Owl, because Ironbeak Owl is an answer to Undertaker, which a lot of lists already struggle with. It's just having an answer for the Undertaker.
War Axe
Well, it's basically like your War Axe number 3, at least to take care of the turn 1 Undertaker.
Yeah, I mean, on top of other cards with really good abilities, I mean...
Well, in the Warrior deck, it's like your War Axe number 3 that takes care of the Undertaker, because that Undertaker will just win people games.
Yeah, definitely. So Dave, what has been your top deck this week?
My top performing deck this week has been Zoo, but my top played list has been an Alexstrasza Miracle list that I've been playing with. But that's because I recently just got Alexstrasza this week and was playing Freeze Mage and noticed a giant increase in a lot of the Warrior lists, so I decided that Freeze Mage was no longer a viable deck to play, because literally Warrior just has to go keep an auto clicker on their hero ability every single turn and they will beat the Freeze Mage player.
Yeah.
So I had to switch over to either I was playing the Alexstrasza Miracle deck or the Zoo list, but the Zoo list has definitely done a lot more work for me.
Yeah, and also you can check out that deck. We just did a 5-game run, which we went 5-0 with on my account. So you'll be able to see that. It'll be up on our YouTube channel, and please subscribe, check it out, and enjoy. It was a really good run. We actually had a couple of matchups that looked like they were completely out of favor. We actually had a mage game where we made like 3 or 4 misplays, and we still won the game. It was a miracle, because like there was a part where we actually missed hitting the ice block
we
for a turn. We played a Doom Guard to attack into it, but the rope just ended when we played the Doom Guard, so we discarded our 2 cards, and it was just Doom Guard hit the table like
and our opponent was just sitting at 1 life, and we're like, we didn't crack the block.
Yeah, and we still ended up winning.
Which we weren't even supposed to cast the Doom Guard that turn, but we just didn't have enough time to really like think about it.
Yeah. I would definitely say, my top deck this week has definitely been Warrior. It's just a very powerful deck. It's a lot of fun. I think in comparison, it's up there with like Handlock, and I'd say the bottom end of it is Paladin Control. But it's definitely a solid deck. It's pretty hard to deal with once you start getting that armor up. You have spells in your hand.
And you don't even have the updated shows list, which I think is kind of funny.
Yeah, I will definitely be checking that out.
It's definitely an improvement.
Yeah, I think for the meta, it's definitely better. I'll be checking that out though, seeing what it's like. It looks like a lot of fun. I watched a little bit of him playing it, but it's really enjoyable to watch, and just be nice to get a feel for it, you know.
Does it still cost $1 billion dust?
Yeah, it's still got like 8 to 10 legends or something like that in it. You know, not that big of a deal.
Yeah, whatever.
You have all of them already. What are you complaining about? I don't have all of them yet. I'm the only one out of everybody in our group that doesn't have it.
Yeah, we pick on Dave. It's fun.
Hey, who still gets a higher rank?
Oof. I don't know. I mean, I have a comeback for it, but it's just not appropriate.
All right, well, moving on. So we're going to go to cards of the week. Well, we will actually just talk about a card that stuck out for us this week, and then we will move on to Hearthstone Top Decks metagame breakdowns, their meta breakdowns, and we'll just go over 2 decks that we created as well. So to start it off, we'll just go with our top card this week. Now, I know Paul is just bubbling with anticipation right now to get his out on the table. But we're not going to cut him short with no pun intended. But Paul, what's been your favorite card this week?
Well, let's talk about the worst card, Knife Juggler. That card's bad. Well, I do like Knife Juggler. It's pretty sweet, and I just recently opened a golden one. So
I mean, we were already playing it in the Zoo list, and just decided to.
I think it's better in Hunter.
The Hunter.
The snake trap interaction.
Oh yeah,
pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you also get the Unleash the Hounds too.
Yeah,
so.
but yeah.
It's so funny when I think of Hunter now. Like, I just think about it and I'm like, yeah, Knife Juggler's cool. But remember when Starving Buzzard was too, and that just seemed way better.
Way back in the day, I was playing Knife Juggler in a Hunter list with Starving Buzzard. Like, you would play both.
Yeah. It's really good. I like Knife Juggler a lot, especially like Zoo and Hunter and Arena. It's awesome too. Like, just say you get a paladin deck, you make a 1/1 every turn. You can at least throw a body on the table, or you play shaman. You get to play either a 0/2 or a 1/1. And you can just keep that consistency. And if he lives, he just keeps dealing damage.
Yeah, he usually doesn't live. He usually dies like real fast.
Yeah.
Do you play double snake boys in your hunter list?
I do.
I actually shaved one from my hunter list, but I haven't really been playing
I've
it.
actually been trying Defender of Argus instead of Houndmaster, because Defender of Argus can do more. It can taunt anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be just a beast.
Right. Yeah, it seems really good. I like Knife Juggler a lot.
And like the Death Rattle plan never works for me. I never draw like the Undertaker into Web Spinner into I just don't draw that well.
It's just a very low percentage to get that opening hand anyways, but when you do get that hand, usually you just win on the spot.
Yeah, it never happens for me. I'm happy to see a Mad Scientist my opener.
Yeah, Mad Scientist is insane. That was definitely one of my favorite cards a few weeks ago. So
Yeah. And Dave, what's been your top performing card this week?
my top performing card was no, actually it would have been Alex Straza had Freeze Mage actually started working out for me, but it was not. So I'd have to go with like Lotheb, because it just solidifies the game state and make sure that your board can survive a sweeper for like one more turn just to push through extra damage. I don't know, Lotheb's just always a solid card, so like he seems like the MVP for me this week.
Definitely a really good card. Lotheb's just like, it's such a powerhouse of a card when it's played at the right turn. If you're just trying to get like a big bulk amount of damage, you have a lot of creatures, you just don't want them to get wiped. It's really, really good, like, as far as just keeping stability in the game. For me, what has been my top card this week?
Yeah, Josh, what's been your top card this week?
I'd say my top card this week has definitely been the Shield Slams. Just because, like, it's such a good card as far as, like, spot removal. Even if you're just versing the Zoo decks and you draw it, it's not as good, but it's still, it can take out, like, a Doom Guard. Like, if, like, that's saying that you have the shield block into the hero ability, and so you have to have like the 6 mana to do it.
Or they're just having a real bad game and you have 7 armor.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
like,
very unlikely, but
it's just a good card, I feel, to stabilize the board and take out a fatty if you really need to.
I mean, at worst, it's a Drain Life, which
Yeah.
3 mana deal 2 gain 2.
Yeah, definitely. It's a fun card. I really enjoy it, and I feel like almost every warrior deck I've seen now, I mean, at least in like the competitive field, I mean, they're playing it. I don't see why not, really.
It's such a good card. Why wouldn't you play
I think the only time I really
wait,
won...
which card?
Shield Block.
Shield Block.
Or sorry,
Shield
Shield
Slam.
Slam. I apologize. Shield Slam.
Wait, are we
1
talking
mana.
about? Yeah, we're talking about someone not playing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the only time I wouldn't see it played is Arena, so like...
Yeah, it's like...
I mean, it's not a bad card in Arena.
Yeah.
It can do something.
Yeah,
well,
that's
the
true.
thing is that that's an epic, right? So
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
probably like 2
There's
other better
probably
epics.
there might be better one. I mean, there could be worse. Like
Right.
Hungry Crab could be one.
Hungry Crabs are rare.
No, it's not.
No,
Yeah,
it's,
maybe
it's an epic.
No, it is an epic.
Hungry
Yeah,
Crab's
Is it
an
really?
epic, yeah.
let's look at it. And the parrot. Well, what if it was parrot?
Hungry Crab,
Hungry
Shield
Crab,
Slam.
Shield Slam. You'd be picking Shield Slam.
You're right,
Yeah.
it's an epic. Oh, that's awful.
Yeah,
Yeah, but what if you already got a green?
parrot is definitely an epic because that's the card you get when you get all the pirates.
That's right, that's why it doesn't show up.
But yeah, it's good. I definitely enjoy it. But yeah, so let's move on now to Hearthstone Top Deck. They have updated their top played cards and top decks right now in the metagame breakdown, which is, just to be clear, this is just for the tournaments decks that they've put up here. So this doesn't reflect on the ladder, this just reflects on the tournaments that have gone on. They have them all posted up. And you can check out those deck lists on HearthstoneTopDeck.com. And so let's just start from the top. So let's just go through the most played legendaries. So number 1 is Lotheb, which really hasn't changed. A lot of these haven't changed since last week, but I mean, for a good reason. They're good cards. Lotheb's just a solid card. It can fit in almost every deck. I'd say almost every deck. Yeah.
Wait, which card?
The
Lotheb.
only deck that I feel like you just don't need it in is like the Warrior Control list.
Yeah,
That just feels like the only thing that it feels unnecessary.
yeah, definitely. Number 2 is Black Knight, which is just a solid way to take care of taunts. It's a good way to just, clear the pathway to victory and win the game. And number 3 is Sylvanas Windrunner, which I feel like we touch upon this almost every week, but it's just really good at making awkward trades for your opponent and stabilizing the win for yourself. But yeah, moving on to...
The Black Knight's also been seeing a lot of play in a lot of new hunter lists too, which I think is part of the reason why it's up on the list here.
I didn't know that.
Wasn't it there last week?
I don't think the Black Knight... I know Sylvanas and Lothab were, but I don't think the Black Knight was there.
Pretty sure it was. Like 90% sure.
I don't know, Paul. You'll have to listen into last week's podcast in order to figure it out.
All right, well, moving on to the most played epics. Paul, do you want to just go down the list?
Okay, so at number 3, we have Molten Giant. Number 2 is Ancient of Lore, and those two didn't change at all. And number 1 actually did change, and that's why I'm announcing it last. But Shade of Naxxramas. And I think Dave has a love affair with this card.
Not lately. I actually took it out of all of my Miracle
Or maybe
decks.
Luke does.
Yeah, Luke really likes it. I just don't think it's that great in the Miracle list lately. I took it out, but I've been seeing a lot of... I actually haven't really been seeing a lot of Shades in the format, now that I think about it.
Yeah, I don't really play against a lot of Druids. Like, Druid usually plays it, and Rogue sometimes.
I think this is part of the separation of tournaments in comparison to the ladder. Because, yeah, you don't see too many Shades, but like in a tournament it makes sense, I feel, because it's just one of those cards that it builds and just wins games.
Well, even when I was watching tournaments, I didn't see a lot of Shades in their deck lists either. So that's why I'm kind of surprised that it's number 1. But, maybe if we take a look through these deck lists a little more, we'll see more just incorporated.
Yeah. All right, moving on to rares. Dave, what are the top 5 rares played right now?
So our number 5 is Sun Fury Protector. Number 4 is Wild Pyromancer. Number 3 is Azure Drake. Number 2 is Defender of Argus. And number 1, as always, and should basically never change, is Sludge Belcher.
Yeah.
The Sludge Belcher and Defender, I feel like, are always going to be top 2 until at least they release a bunch more, well, at least another set. And it's going to be really hard to top those 2 cards, I feel like, anyways.
Was Sunfury the only thing that changed?
Yeah. Out of the entire
I think
list...
SI7 Agent was on there, right? Last
Yeah.
week?
It was. Yeah. But that's because there was more Miracle lists, which there's been less and less of.
And Paul's a pretty big hipster about it, but he doesn't want to say this, but he told you so. So he called the Sludge Belcher months.
Always.
I'm actually surprised Knife Juggler isn't on this list.
Yeah, that's a pretty big surprise.
But then again, that's because this is tournaments and a lot of people don't play Hunter in tournaments.
Yeah,
so.
well, do you really
usually.
want to rely that much on RNG in a tournament? Do you?
I
No.
don't know, let's ask Amaz and his Ragnaros.
I mean, that was another stroke of luck game when you saw that.
I mean, Ragnaros is different.
Yeah, Ragnaros is just a powerhouse card, but notice how it's not on the most played legendaries list.
True.
Sometimes
it probably
people-
was in the beginning, though.
Well,
Probably.
doesn't some Paladin decks play Mad Bomber?
Yeah, I have seen that before. Yep.
I know they play a lot of the Mad Bomber on the Asia server, so
Ugh.
Yeah.
for some strange reason there's a huge obsession for that card.
Yeah.
I think it's cool when it works.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to watch. But yeah, we're going to move on to the next metagame breakdown by class. So I'll start this off and just go down the classes. Hasn't really changed much since last week. I think maybe the last 2 changed. I'm probably wrong about this.
You are wrong.
But let's just go down the list. So number 1 at 21% is Warlock. Number 2 is Druid at 14%. Priest is at 12% at number 3. Rogue is at 11% at 4. Hunter is at 10% at 5. Shaman is at 10% at 6. Paladin is at 8% at 7. Warrior is at 7% at 8, and Mage is at 6% at 9. So there was a difference between, because I know Warrior was last week in Mage.
I think they might have been the same percentage though. So
Oh, really?
they would just switch.
Yeah.
I think Priest jumped up a little bit.
Yeah.
Pally definitely jumped up, and Warrior came down, I think, a little bit.
Yeah. Why do you think that is? Why do you think Priest is number 3 right now in the tournaments? Do you think it's a really strong tournament deck?
It loses to like Freeze Mage and has a bad matchup against Warrior Control. But it basically, it has a solid matchup against all the aggressive decks. It basically can either be an aggressive deck as well, or it can be a control deck, so depending on how you build it.
Yeah. All right, well, moving on to the metagame breakdown by type. Dave, do you want to take this?
So we have aggro at 10%. We have mid-range, and that is at 36%. We have control at 43%. And we have combo at 10%.
Now, this isn't too much of a surprise to me.
It looks like Magic.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like Magic.
It's like all control decks.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of control decks. Mid-range, second, aggro and combo are tied. Which is actually, well, it makes sense in tournament. That wouldn't be ladder. Aggro, I think, would be higher percentage.
Probably at least 40 to 50%.
By far. Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely cool to see.
I mean, can you think of any other combo decks that, other than Miracle Rogue, like...
Wasn't there a Druid combo? But I mean...
I guess that's true, but that feels more like a mid-rangey control list than it does a combo list.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
The token list, I feel like, would be the mid-range list, and then
I mean, even Rogue, it's like barely a combo deck anymore. They don't even play Shadow Steps. They don't even play Leroy Jenkins.
Actually, some of them do still.
Yeah, but I mean... Still, I mean... Just because you play a card and draw a billion cards, it's not really a combo. It's just
the Auctioneer is
it's an interaction. It's not really a combo.
It is, because you get the preparations and you have all these other cards that you get, like Eviscerates and Fan of Knives, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I consider that the combo.
I don't know. I think that's just interactions between cards. Because Auctioneer doesn't see play anywhere else.
Yeah.
He was seeing play in like Shaman lists.
Was when that Maligod Druid deck was being played, like they were playing it.
They were playing like a one of usually for
like because you can Moonfire things and draw cards.
Exactly. Or when you get to the late game, you have your Wild Growths and they draw.
You play Malygos,
or 3 cards rather.
Sweet.
Well, yeah,
Big dragon.
Malygos does end the game.
Yeah, if you like dragons. All right, so we're gonna move on to actually let's start with just going over some decks from this tournament. So in this tournament, in the Seat Story Cup, in first place was Savage, in second place was Mirari, in third place was XIXO.
6-0.
What?
It's typed out as XIXO, but he goes by 6-0.
Ah, okay. And in fourth place was Theude?
Thwade, I think it is.
Thwade. I am just butchering these names.
I don't know.
In fifth place...
It could be Theude. I'm not sure.
In fifth place was Calento. It actually looks like on the website they skipped sixth place, which is confusing, but moving on. So fifth place was Calento, and then to seventh place is Trauma, which is probably sixth. And in eighth place, which is probably seventh. Okay, I'm just confusing everybody right now.
Eighth is Cabrix.
It's Cabrix. Now, let's just take a look at a couple of these decks.
I think we should definitely take a look at Savage's Shaman list.
Yeah.
That was one of the biggest things that got him. Actually, he went 10-0 with that list.
Yeah.
And it was just like one of those things where he caught people by surprise and had double Doomhammer in his list.
Yeah, that is very interesting.
And I do like how he has double Lava Burst to just like dome like handlock players, or just have the extra burst to just kill somebody.
So what's in this deck real quick is Flame Tongue Totems, Mana Tide Totem, Unbound Elemental, Fire Elemental, Blood Mage Thanos, Haunted Creeper, Defender of Argus, Gnomish Inventor, Azure Drake, Loatheb, Rockbiter Weapon, Earthshock, Lightning Bolt, Lava Burst, Lightning Storm, Hex, Feral Spirit, and Doomhammer. Now you can find this deck list. It's on HearthstoneTopDeck.com, and it's under the Seat Story Cup. Savage got first place, so you can see this deck up on there. But yeah, it's very interesting. 2 Doomhammers in the deck, which I think it's just played like that just to guarantee a Doomhammer draw, because it can be pretty important. I mean,
for 5 mana, you're guaranteed, how much is that? 16 points of damage for each Doomhammer?
yeah. And I don't see people running into Harrison Jones too much, so it's not really as scary.
I do see a lot of it actually in tournaments, and I have been seeing a lot of Harrison Jones lately, and especially like those warrior decks.
I've seen it in the ladder more recently. I didn't really see it too much in the tournaments though.
I think it's one of those cards that's like starting to see more play.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember which game it was, but I remember seeing somebody was playing Paladin against Savage, and they had the Harrison Jones, and they were just sitting on the Harrison Jones, but they were both like at the fatigue. And it's a very interesting match to watch. It actually might have just been the last game against Mirari and Savage, but I could be wrong. I didn't see a Paladin. Don't see a Paladin unless under Mirari, so I'm 100% wrong. But yeah, it's definitely very interesting to see. I think this is a pretty solid list, so I definitely enjoy it as far as watching it be played. I'm gonna have to give this a shot though, see how I like it in the ladder. How do you guys feel about it?
The
Shaman deck?
list?
Yeah.
Looks cool.
It seems fine, but like I was saying, there's a lot of Harrison Jones running around lately.
Yeah.
And I would be very afraid to run double Doomhammer.
Just looks like a bunch of cards that is... What is this?
So Paul and I are looking at Trump's warrior list. Said it's called Kit Kat Slide, and we were looking at it because it cost 1,500 dust or 15,000 dust rather.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of legends in this deck.
Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 legends.
Yep. 8 legends. That's a lot.
Whew. And one faceless manipulator makes sense with all these legends. Oh wow.
And he's running the Harrison Jones too.
Well, I mean, look at these
Yeah.
2 9-drops. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it is kind of weird to see both Alex Straza and Ysera in the list.
Yeah.
I feel like you should only be running 1 9-drop.
Yeah. So to go on the list real quick, there is Armor Smiths, Cruel Taskmasters, Grandma Shellscreams, Unstable Ghouls, Acolyte of Pain, Spellbreaker, Faceless Manipulator, Sludge Belcher, Harrison Jones, Sylvanas Windrunner, Karen Bloodhoof, the Black Knight, Ragnaros, the Fire Lord, Ysera, Alex Straza, Shield Slam, Execute, Shield Block, Brawl, Fiery War Axe, and Deathbites in the list. Now, once again, you can find this on HearthstoneTopDeck.com. Trump placed 7th place, which
Might be 6th place.
might
I'm
be
not sure.
6th. Yeah, we're not 100% sure about that, but yeah, this is definitely an interesting list. A lot of legends. This is expensive as far as dust goes. It's about 15,000 dust to make. But
Save your dust.
yeah, I'd say save your dust too.
I don't like that deck. I don't like it.
I feel like there's better warrior control decks you can make
That are cheaper.
that are cheaper. So,
It just seems real clunky.
but I mean, all in all, the list doesn't seem like terrible, but yeah, it seems very clunky as far as that goes. It's a lot of high drops in the if you face any deck that's aggro, I feel like you just get rolled over. No.
I mean, I think this is a control stomper. That's why. That's why, like,
In a
you
tournament
play the
setting,
deck.
I can
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah, I guess you verse and control decks, you just switch to it.
Does
Yeah.
it play a BGH? I can't. Oh no, it
No.
doesn't play BGH.
No,
So it's not even.
no big game hunters.
You would think that he would play Big Game Hunter just to like have the warrior deck have a better matchup against the headlock decks, because you would be expecting those like a lot at big tournaments like that.
Yeah. All right, and we'll just move on to one more list here. Let's see. Let's look at 6-0's list, the Secret Mage list.
I just think that's a very interesting one. So
Oh yeah, this is
Oh,
definitely a cool one.
Archmage
Because
Yeah.
it's kind of like a hybrid between like Freeze Mage and like kind of like almost like Giants Mage, but it doesn't have the Giants in it. Instead, it just plays like Sludge Belchers and an Archmage Antonidas, which a lot of Freeze Mages have been cutting lately.
Yeah, so just to run through the list really quick, there's Archmage Antonidas, Mad Scientist, Loot Hoarder, Blood Mage Thanos, Doomsayer, Acolyte of Pain, Sludge Belcher, Alex Draza, Ice Lance, Frostbolt, Duplicate, Ice Block, Frost Nova, Arcane Intellect, Fireball, Flame Strike, and 1 Pyroblast in there. So this deck's very interesting. For the third time, you can find this on HearthstoneTopDeck.com. 6-0 actually placed third place in this tournament, and it's the top deck in the 5 that were listed. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. You don't see a lot of Archmage Antonidas in the list. I think most of the other cards are pretty standard, I'd say. What do you guys think? I mean, maybe not Pyro. Is Pyroblast?
I think it's weird that it has Pyroblast and Antonidas.
Yeah, usually you
Yeah.
pick one of those two.
Yeah. It's definitely very interesting to see that.
Oh, he's playing Duplicate too. It's kinda...
Well, the Duplicate is there for the Sludge Belchers and the Antonidas.
Huh. Very cool.
And Doomsayers, too.
This is an interesting list. I'd like to give it a shot and just try it out. I mean, not promising great games or anything.
I think it'll turn out really bad and ugly because
Do you
of
have
all those
Archmage
warriors.
Antonidas?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Yeah. Yeah, I have all the class legends besides Prophet Velen.
Oh yeah.
You don't need that one. It's okay.
I had King Crush and I sold it.
Yeah,
'Cause you don't need it. You have web spinners.
Well, just hold on to it, just cause.
Yeah, I still have the Beast just cause.
Yeah.
I'll never play it.
I mean, I just don't see any reason to sell.
I'm glad I held on to that Golden Augur.
Yeah, I'm at the point in on my account that I have what I need to build the decks that I want. The only thing I've been kind of saving up for is King Mukla, but I'm so on like the fence about it. I don't think I'll ever really play King Mukla.
It's a decent
Never know
card.
though. Never know. I might find a list that I find intriguing and just play it.
I've disenchanted it 3 times, and every time I disenchant it, I find a list that I want to play it in.
You know what I thought of too? Maybe this is just like Magical Christmas Land, but like, okay, let's think about this. King Mukla in a rogue deck. You shadow step it. You play it again. That's 4 cards taken up their hand.
Have you not seen the...
Is that in the backspace?
The mill?
Mill Rogue.
Yeah.
I actually got beaten out by that mill rogue deck. I was
Backspace is different. Backspace just plays a bunch of weenie creatures and tries to kill you with that.
Oh, I see.
That's the turn 6 rogue, whereas the Mill Rogue will just try to mill your entire deck.
Well, I definitely played
There's
the
a
mill
druid.
rogue.
There's a good druid mill deck too.
No, the Rogue is definitely 100 times
I mean, they
better.
get naturalized.
It's
That's a class
still-
card.
It's still not good, though.
I mean, it draws them 2 cards.
Naturalize. Okay, Naturalize and Shadow Step on a Cold Light Oracle. The same thing, right?
Yeah, basically.
I mean, you do get to destroy a creature, but you have both players draw 4 cards with the Cold Light Oracle. And then you also get just like, I don't know, better cards, basically.
I don't know. This deck just sounds.
It's weird. I was watching Firebat actually get Legend with this style of deck. With the Mill Rogue. He actually got Legend with it, which makes me want to, shake my head at him, but
Do you need King Mukla?
you do.
Oh.
You do. Because
So,
you
I mean,
shadow
maybe
step that, buddy.
Maybe the dust I've been saving is
Wait,
worth
how
it.
much do you have?
I mean,
I think I have like 15,000 and change.
15,000.
The Mill,
1,500, sorry. Yeah, I'm balling 15,000 dust. Jeez.
you can build an entire
I'm just
warrior
gonna
deck?
I'm just gonna gold out a warrior deck, guys. So, but yeah, seems very interesting, this list.
That Mill Rogue list that I was just talking about too is a good deck to consider for tournaments that are playing a ton of control decks because it does have a good matchup against control decks.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on. We're just gonna go to the decks that we've created this week, which we have 2 decks for you. We have a zoo list, and we have our surprise deck, which is Dave's gonna have a druid deck for us.
Hey, it's supposed to be a surprise. Shh.
Well, it's not a surprise anymore. It's a druid deck. But yeah, so we'll just start with the zoo list. I'll just go down it real quick. So the zoo list has Soulfire, Power Overwhelming, Abusive Sergeant, Flame Imp, Leper Gnome, Undertaker, Voidwalker, Direwolf Alpha, Haunted Creeper, Knife Juggler, Nerubian Egg, Harvest Golem, Void Terror, Dark Iron Dwarf, Defender of Argus, Doomguard, and Lotheb. And this deck's pretty. I'd say it's pretty standard for zoo right now. It's a cool deck, we just made a video, and you'll be able to see that too. It should be up on our YouTube right now. And we just went 5-0 from. I was at rank 7. I went to rank 5, and I'll probably be grinding this deck.
Yeah, that was a sweet win streak
for a little while. Yeah.
The only thing different that the list that we played on that video and the list you just talked about too, compared to the one that I have been playing, is I shaved a Harvest Golem for an Iron Beak Owl, because Iron Beak Owl is, just a really solid card right now. Takes care of Undertakers, gets rid of taunts, and takes care of Twilight Drakes too.
Yeah, it's definitely a good spot. It's a good slot to have in there too. It's good to take care of a lot of cards in this format.
If you're seeing a lot of like Sludge Belchers and stuff like that, or Undertakers, I would consider trying to move an Iron Beak Owl into your list.
Yeah, Paul, how do you feel about this list? I know it doesn't run Sludge Belcher.
I don't play Sludge Belcher in a zoo deck.
No, I know your love for Sludge Belcher.
I mean, it's just a really good card, but I'll probably actually try this deck because I don't really have a zoo deck that I'm actually playing.
Well, we ended up shaving a Direwolf Alpha because you don't want to ever keep them in your opening hand. And the Lotheb just kind of made sense when you're trying to build up a board position, and then you just want to be able to save your board position for an extra turn.
Yeah, I'd say for all you players that want to play competitively and just don't have the legends to back it up, I mean, this just plays mainly rares. The only legend you need is from the Noxramas set, in which I believe it's the second wing that you unlock it from. So I think you only need the first 2 wings anyway.
Well, you need
Undertaker.
You need the 4th wing at the very
yeah,
least.
that's true. You do need Undertaker too.
You just buy Naxxramas.
Yeah, just buy the Noxramas. I'd say it's worth every cent.
Or every coin.
Yeah, if you wanna be a free to play player too, I mean, good luck. It does take time, and I fully respect that, and that is a lot of hard work.
That's how Dave did it, right?
For the longest time, yeah.
You
Free
think
to
he
play
did like
Nostradamus?
three wings, right?
I bought 4 wings with gold, and then I spent money, I think, for the last 2.
wasn't there
Oh no,
5?
there was 6, I'm pretty sure, but you got the first one free, so
Yes, you have 5 wings.
I bought the last wing with money, and then
So that was like $6.
Yeah, 7. I think.
Oh yeah, $6.99.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
I didn't want to spend a lot of money on the game, but I wanted to be able to at least unlock most of the wings. And I ended up just getting 700 gold every single week
I just dropped $25
before the wing came out. Well, yeah, that's how cheaters work, right?
It's not cheating. It's not cheating.
No, you just... I like...
That's like being
Not
a billion.
spending-
That's like being a billionaire and spending $1 million on packs.
I just don't like putting a ton of money into the game, that's all.
yeah.
When it's basically designed to be played as a free-to-play game, I don't like spending a ton of money.
You gotta support Blizzard though.
Gee,
They made a great game. Take my money, okay?
They
Take
have
my
enough
money.
support. Are you kidding me? How much money do you think they're making just from this game alone?
And
Never
are they
mind-
giving back? Yeah, they're giving back.
Not-
I mean,
not
World of
very
Warcraft
much.
probably makes more, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
World of Warcraft also has an expansion coming out, which everybody's spending an additional $60 just to play that too,
Jeez.
and on top of your $15 a month. And
I have
on
no
top of
interest
the
in
4
World of
or
Warcraft.
5 other expansions that they've had. I played that for a long time too.
I like
it's,
Warcraft 3. It's a good one.
At least this one's an addiction that you can keep a little
What is
under
this,
control.
like the 9th expansion they've come out with?
For
They-
World of Warcraft, I think this is the 6th.
They
yeah.
actually, at opening ceremonies, they're supposed to have this big surprise for everybody. So I'm really interested in what that is. I'm hoping
Closing?
it's Warcraft 4. I'm hoping.
Closing?
No, opening ceremonies. They have a big announcement.
Watch it. It's probably gonna be StarCraft 3
No.
or Diablo 4.
Don't even say that, Paul. We want Warcraft 4. Okay?
Dude,
Do you know how long it took for StarCraft 2? There's no way it's gonna be a third one. We still got like 10
I
to 15
doubt it's gonna be
years.
Warcraft 4.
It could be.
I
It's
don't
been a
doubt
while.
it. It's been a long time.
I mean, it has been a long time, but I mean,
We already got Diablo 3, StarCraft 2.
Well, I mean, StarCraft and Warcraft are like kind of the same.
No, not StarCraft 2. I feel like
I don't even
the
know
way
what
the game is
StarCraft
set
2
up.
is.
I mean,
I don't like the futuristic stuff. So
I think it's an interesting game.
I've never played it.
I'd say my two favorite types of games are strategy games and trading card games. So I mean, it's up there. I definitely.
I mean, I
will
like the
try
strategy.
it.
I'm just not into the space.
Yeah. Before we get further off topic, let's move on to the next segment. Not next segment.
Our
Let's
next
move on to
deck?
the next deck. So Dave has a druid list that he wants to talk about, and yeah.
This is based off of Hype's deck that he was just playing for the DKMR Invitational, which was 2 nights ago. That was the 23rd for anybody. And I'm calling this the Wailing Chow list because he didn't have a name for it, obviously. And I think this list is only like 5 cards different from his list at the moment. There is 2 Innervate, 2 Zombie Chow, 2 Wrath, 2 Ancient Watcher, 2 Sunfury Protector, 1 Savage Roar, 1 Big Game Hunter, 2 Swipe, 1 Chillwind Yeti, 2 Keeper of the Grove, 1 Wailing Souls, 2 Druid of the Claw, 1 Harrison Jones, 1 Lotheb, 2 Spectral Knight, 1 Force of Nature, 1 Sylvanas Windrunner, 1 The Black Knight, 2 Ancient of Lore, and 1 Cenarius. This list I think is kind of cool because he basically went... I think he went 4-0 with this list. Because his first 3 lists he lost in a row. I think he lost with his Freeze Mage, his Miracle, and there was one more list he was playing. I think it was Warrior. So he lost with his Miracle, his Warrior, and his Freeze Mage list, and then he pulled out his Druid list, and he was 0-3, and then all of a sudden he went 4-3 with this Druid list, and that's why I kind of wanted to showcase it. I find it kind of cool because it plays the Ancient Watchers and the Zombie Chows, and you get the Wailing Souls that kind of silence both those, so that your opponents can't gain the 5 life, and that your Ancient Watchers can actually attack. It also plays the Harrison Jones because there's been a lot of weapons floating around lately. And it still plays a combo, both one of each combo piece, so you have ways to just finish out the game with either the combo pieces or the scenarios. So that's why I think this list is pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'll definitely have to check it out too. It looks like a lot of fun. Alright, well, we are going to move on to the last couple of segments that we have. We have favorite weekly streamers. Now, Dave, do you have any favorite weekly streamers?
Who I just got this list from.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, which is Hyped.
Hyped?
Yeah, Hyped has been streaming a bit more lately, and he is just an amazing player and an awesome person to learn from.
Yeah.
And the amount of times he flips his hair, you know, if we turned it into a drinking game, we'd all be drunk within an hour.
Why does he have long hair like Josh?
Pretty close. He just likes to flip it around a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what
Comes with
Josh
the
is.
territory.
Josh is doing that right as we speak.
Josh does it all the time.
Yep. No,
Emo flip.
How many times have you touched your hair this entire podcast, Josh?
I've lost count.
Yeah.
It's somewhere in the thousands. Maybe in like the 10,000s, 20,000s.
You've been touching your hair more than you've been touching the mouse.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I've been watching.
What hair care products do you use? Head and shoulders.
I like Maybelline. No, well, moving on to the next. My
Sure
favorite.
it's not Tresemme?
So my favorite weekly streamer is definitely like on the first podcast, Applejack. I actually was watching him recently, and wow, he's been getting a lot of donations. I think he deserves it. He's been playing Handlock. He's doing really good with Handlock.
He's consistent too.
And wow, I mean, he was making like in 3 hours like $700+ like, and he deserves it. Like, he's a really good player. He's fun to watch. He's entertaining, and he just has a really good stream.
Is he back to the green screen?
No.
No. He was 22 days into streaming for this month, and he was already at $4,500 from donations alone.
Yeah.
Never mind his subscriptions, but just his donations.
Yeah, that's really good.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
That was awesome to see. He's really, really good player. He's really just...
He's just a good person in general.
Yeah, exactly. It's very entertaining to watch. All right, so in-game stories is our last section of this podcast, and I know Paul was talking about something that he was going over earlier. He didn't really have like a huge storyline for you, but you can just spit it out for us.
What was it, web spinner?
Yeah, you had the web spinner, and you remember
yeah.
just closing out the game with...
Yeah. I was like basically I only had like one shot to kill him, and like it was getting King Crush off of the web spinner, and it happened to be I like, what is it? You have like a 1 in... Man, how many cards can that thing spit out?
Every beast in the game.
Yeah. So what is the chances that you get a King Crush?
I mean, very low.
Very, yeah. I was like, what? Yeah, but yeah, it came a King Crush, and you just win the game.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
How about you, Dave? Do you have any in-game stories?
I have I have an in-game story, but it's not about me winning. It's about me losing.
I had one of those, like on the first podcast.
Yeah. So I was in an arena, and my priest opponent cast a Violet Teacher, and then he cast the double a minion's health on the Violet Teacher twice, and then eventually cast 2 powered shields on it, and that won him the game. That's basically what it came down to.
Wow.
It was a 326 at one point. And he brought it down to a 3-9 before he killed me, but you know, a 326 is really difficult to deal with when you don't have a silence or a spot removal.
Yeah.
I don't even
definitely.
like Divine Spirit as a card.
I mean, it does its job sometimes. It has a combo with Light Spawn, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
But, you know, a silence does take that out and easily 2-for-1 you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My in-game story is pretty similar to Dave's. It's not about me winning. It's about me just losing.
Really bad.
Really bad. So I'm playing in an arena. I'm playing as Hunter, and I have a sweet Hunter deck. It has like 2 Unleash the Hounds, has 2 Web Spinners. It has 2 Savannah High Mains. Like, this deck is bonkers. And I'm actually still in the arena right now. But I'm like going into this to like, oh, I'll probably just go like 7-0 and I'll probably lose a few. I'll probably hit 12 wins. I'm feeling really confident about it. But I feel like when that happens, it almost tilts you because you're just so confident about your list. And the first game I played with this, I managed to get Web Spinner and out on turn 1, and he died, and I got a Savannah High Main, and I also had another one in my hand. So I'm playing against a Shaman. I play the first Savannah High Main, and he hexes it.
Obviously.
Of course.
Yeah, and I mean, at that point we're pretty late in the game, but then next turn I go to play my other Savannah High Main, and he plays Kazakhstan Auctioneer, and then he ends up Earthshocking it. So I mean, I can trade with the Auctioneer now, but my Savannah High Main isn't going to get me any 2/2s. And I just got stomped that game. I think right now I'm 1-2 with the deck, and it's a really good list. But I'm just like, the matchups, I'm either just playing very poorly, or I think that the decks I'm getting matched against just are running me over.
I feel like when you build a Hunter arena too, it has to be like a super aggro deck in order for it to win.
That's the thing, is there's no cards above 7. It's all 6 and under, and like like the top end of the curve is at 2. So like I have the aggro deck, but he just
You have the kill commands?
I have no kill commands. That's the biggest
that's the
downfall
problem.
of the deck. Yeah, there's
That's
no
the
kill
problem.
You
commands.
need the reach.
Do you have the companions?
I got a animal companion.
I actually just had an arena where I had 6 animal companions.
Wow, it's really good.
I had a sweet Hunter deck too recently, but it ended up being really bad because I never get Unleashed Hounds
Yeah.
ever. Like, I had double Hyena, and I had a Cult Master, and I had all these ways to draw cards, and I had kill commands and animal companions, but I just don't have any Unleash Hounds, so I just lose.
Yeah.
I was lucky to actually get the 3 wins.
Yeah, it's tough.
I had a Flare, too. It's pretty good in Arena.
Yeah.
Seems okay.
I mean, a lot of people play, like, they try to live the dream with, like, Avenge, and, like...
Well, Avenge is a little better, I think, in Arena than it is in Constructed.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But even, like, the
Mirror Entity?
I mean, it's really good against Mage. But, the one that spawns a 2/1.
Oh, oh, man. This is so bad.
Yeah, he says get down.
Yeah, get
No,
Get down.
I was about to say Avenging
Stormpipe
Wrath.
Commando?
No, get down.
It's a trap. Get down. That's
Oh,
what-
Noble Sacrifice.
Yeah, there we go. He's right.
Get down!
Yeah, basically.
Well, get down plus Avenge is like a strong combo.
Yeah.
You know what card is really sweet in Arena that's not good in Constructed is Spellbender.
Yeah,
That
I,
card's nuts.
I love that card.
It's really good against Paladin.
Oh,
Blessing of Kings?
Oh.
Yeah, that's how I went 12-1 in one of my arenas. Cause he
when that happens, I'm like,
yeah,
is this real
sorry,
life?
it's a 5/7. Good luck.
I love it too because they could just play like a Hammer of Wrath to kill a creature. And when it becomes that Blessing of Kings, you're like,
Well, it stinks for them because like they probably just wasted their whole turn blessings. If they did it on turn 4, and then you spellbendered on your turn 3 and pass the turn, they just go blessings, and then it happens. They can't even do anything. They can't silence it. They can't do anything to it, and now
Yeah.
you get to attack with it at least once.
yeah. Another card I like in Arena for Paladin, but I don't like in Constructed, is Redemption. I think it works really well with Divine Shield cards like Scarlet Crusader, Argent Squire, even Sunwalker. It's not terrible
Argent
with
Commander.
Argent Commander. What's that cleric? Sun.
Scarlet Crusader?
No, the 3/3
3/3
for
one?
4.
Oh,
You know what I'm talking
yeah,
about.
the
though.
4-mana 3/3.
Yeah, he has.
I don't think he's that great.
He's
Yeah,
okay.
but just saying with Redemption, I feel like if you do play a lot of Divine Shield cards that start with Divine Shield, it's
I don't know. I personally think Redemption's like a waste of a pick.
I like it. I like it in Arena. I've
It's
had a
fine
lot
if
of
you have a bunch
success.
Sunwalkers.
Yeah.
It's
That's
fine if you have
good.
a lot of anything Divine Shield. Anything
Well, I mean-
Divine Shield.
Well, I mean,
Doesn't-
like if it's not a Sunwalker specifically, like they don't have to attack your Divine Shield dudes.
Yeah, but you still get a free dude. Like you get 2 hits. Like they're gonna have to either have, like
But-
let's just say hypothetically that the worst case scenario is like the Hex or the Polymorph. But even if they have like the Earthshock, doesn't matter. They still get the defense. I mean, unless it's the Scarlet Crusader, obviously, or the Argent Squire.
Say that they played, or if you're playing against like Unleash the Hounds or something, and like it's basically, I look at it as a worse duplicate.
Yeah, in a way, but it's 1 mana.
Okay, but you get 1.
Yeah,
You don't get 2.
That's the thing is
And you
with
also get a
Redemption.
lower
Yeah.
defense, or toughness, rather.
Yeah,
I just think it's a situational.
but if I see a
It's
whole bunch
medium.
of junk and I see that card and I already have a bunch of Divine Shield,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
going with
yeah,
that card.
yeah. I'm just saying there's a lot better picks.
Yeah,
I
it's
wouldn't
very
like. I
situated.
wouldn't be like, oh, there's a Repidance.
We are
Snap
relying a little bit
or
more on Magical Christmas Land with this. but
Redemption or whatever.
I have made it work. It is fun.
Consecration. If you don't have Consecration, you lose. Retire. Like
No, if you don't have True Silver Champion.
no, you kind of need Consecrate too.
Yeah, those are the 2 cards, really.
Yeah, you kind of maybe 1 Guardian, and you'll be good.
Yeah.
Avenging Wrath is pretty good in Arena.
What's the 7 mana 6/6 that lords everybody? I forget.
Oh, Stormwind Champion.
yeah, he's
right?
definitely one.
Yeah,
of the best picks.
he's the best in that class. The 7 mana 6/6 Lord.
Stormwind Champion.
Yeah. The +1/+1.
He lords all of your creatures.
Yeah.
In that class, he's neutral.
I know. Why
He's
he's the
You mean
best
in
for Paladin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's the best in Paladin.
He's the best for Paladin. He's the
He's-
second best for Shaman.
Yeah. Good for Shaman too.
Yeah. Very debatable, I'd say. But anyway.
Oh, are we gonna?
Yeah, before we go, we're just going to do a quick arena build, and we're just gonna build this deck, and then we're gonna do a video for this. We're gonna put it on YouTube. So yeah, we're just gonna build this deck right now, and this will be the last part of our podcast, and then we will go straight to playing this deck right afterwards. So please tune into our YouTube channel. You will see this up there. And yeah, so let's start it off. So we have the three choices we have are Mage, Priest, and Druid. Now, the first arena we did was Mage, which personally I think is the best class in Arena. But I think we should change it up this time and go with Druid.
I think we should go Priest.
I think we should go Priest.
It can be good. Power Word Shield is nuts.
I'm pretty awful with Priest in Arena, but if you want to take that chance...
I mean, it's not my gold.
I would rather...
It's your gold, so you pick.
I'd rather do Druid. I've been actually playing a lot of Priest in Arena. The last 3 arenas I've done actually have all been Priest.
It's either good or bust.
But the best I've done, I think, with those is one of them was 9-3, and all the other ones were like 6-3.
It's actually pretty sweet now that Dark Cultist is a card that you can get.
I don't know, I still like Druid quite a bit, and obviously Mage is probably like the best one because of all the common cards.
Yeah, Flame Strike. Alright, let's go Druid.
Let's go Druid here.
The only thing I don't like about Druid is they're...
Wow, so we got a Echoing Ooze, a Faceless Manipulator, and a Ancient of Lore.
Now this is really easy.
Yeah, it's not even close.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious that the Ancient of Lore is the pick. Echoing Ooze is really good, and Faceless Manipulator is really good too, but...
Ancient of Lore is the best Druid card in general.
Yeah, it's just so solid. Like,
And first pick.
Yeah, first pick, we have to. So now we have a Poison Seeds, we have Earthen Ring Farseer, and we have Stone Tusk Boar. So let's just go through the cards first. Earthen Ring Farseer, which I think is the pick, I agree.
Yeah,
3 mana, 3/3, gain 3. Really good. The 1 mana, 1/1, Stone Tusk Boar with charge. Okay, not really great
it's
for
at
this.
least like a spot removal with your hero ability.
Yeah.
I mean, it is 3 mana to kill something with a 2 toughness, though.
Yeah, and Poison Seeds, I think it's a decent card. I don't think it's that good, though.
I really don't like Poisonous Seeds at all.
Yeah, it's just, it can really just set up for bad situations. And
it doesn't have a home, and nor does it have a home in Arena.
Yeah,
Or is it
exactly.
good?
Yeah, I don't see it as a great card.
So we're going to take the Farseer.
Earthen Ring Farseer, for sure.
Miles.
So we have a Mark of the Wild, Wisp, and a Voodoo Doctor.
Wisp.
Wisp is not good. Voodoo Doctor is mediocre at best. And Mark of the Wild's a really solid card, so I think we're going to go Mark of the Wild.
I mean, it's also a mediocre card, but it's the best out of the 2.
Too bad we didn't get that
cards.
Echoing Ooze.
I know, right?
Yeah, that'd be insane. But Mark of the Wild's definitely the pick.
Yeah. So we have a Raging Morgan, Spellbreaker, and Haunted Creeper. Now this one is a little bit more tough, but I'm pretty sure the pick here is Haunted Creeper.
Spellbreaker's also really good, though.
Spellbreaker's good, but having the 2 is just so important. I feel like, other than Priest, Druid has the most silence cards. I mean, it only has the Keeper of the Grove.
Yeah, that's the only silence card.
Yeah.
But what other classes really offer that besides Priest?
Priest.
Besides, like, Priest is the only one. Yeah, you're right.
Priest, I mean, you can get, like, Shaman for Urshock.
Urshock.
But
Urshock is better.
I mean,
than
there's a
Spellbreaker.
billion neutral cards that kind of fix it.
I think our curve needs 2s, though. I mean, we're just at the beginning of this, but, like, why not start off with some awesome 2-drops? We don't have
no
any...
4s either.
This one is a little more debatable, but I think we do take the Haunted Creeper here, even though I do, like... If we had, like, a Wild Growth, I'd probably go with the Spellbreaker.
Pick 4.
So we're going to go with Haunted Creeper here.
So we have a Healing Touch, a Claw, and a Naturalized. Not a big fan of Naturalize. I can see why it's played, though. Healing Touch, okay. Claw, at least it removes cards. And
for 3 mana, at least takes out a 3-drop. So
yeah, exactly. So we got a Spellbreaker, a Claw, and a Naturalize. Looks very similar. It looks like the Spellbreaker and the what was that other card? The Restore 8.
Healing
Switch
Touch.
Healing Touch traded. So I think we go with the Spellbreaker this time.
Yeah, we don't really need a second claw, and we probably do want a silence at least.
Yeah, we at least want a guaranteed silencer card. Which, speak of the devil. We got a Ironbeak Owl, a Nightblade, and a Worgen Infiltrator.
I don't think we take the owl.
Really?
We already grabbed the Spellbreaker, so I don't think we need another silence.
But do you really think that the Worgen's any better?
I do. I actively do, because it trades with a 2-drop, and with your hero ability... It
But
does-
having 2 silences in the deck is really good too.
True, but we could be offered
Keeper.
Keeper of the Grove as well.
Okay, so Worgen Infiltrator it is.
I actually like Worgen Infiltrator, especially with a 1 damage hero ability, so it helps you trade up a little more.
So we have Ogre Magi, Bluegill Warrior, and Ironfur Grizzly. Which
This
they're
one's
all
a little more tough.
they're all pretty mediocre, I'd say.
I don't think we go with the Ironfur Grizzly
No.
like-
out of
Ogre.
either of them. I like the Bluegill Warrior because it's kind of like a spot removal similar to Claw. But since we already have the Claw, I think we actually go with the Ogre Magi.
Yeah, just in case we draw some damage spells. It's not bad, and it's a 4/4 body for 4.
And we hope to get swipe.
So now we have Shield Bearer, Archmage, and Voodoo Doctor.
Well, we have 0 6-drops.
Yeah,
So I think we're going to take a 4/7 for
Archmage
6.
is got a booty. It's a 4/7, and it's got some spell damage on it too.
Shield Bearer is not a card, and we already talked about Voodoo Doctor being a mediocre card, so...
Yeah. So now we have Questing Adventurer, Light Warden, and Wailing Soul. I think there's really only one pick for this deck.
I mean, there's 2.
Yeah.
Is there?
Yeah, it's one of these. It's one of either the Questing Adventure or the Wailing
Wailing
Souls.
Souls wasn't even a consideration for me. We have so
Really?
many cards that
I mean,
like
Light Warden is not a card.
like we have a Haunted Creeper, a Worgen Infiltrator, like Ogre Magi.
Well, the Worgen Infiltrator, I'm not
Archmage.
too worried about it getting silenced. The only, like the Haunted Creeper, sure, is definitely something I'm concerned about getting silenced.
Questing Adventurer though, you get Innervates. We already have 2 1-drops. Like it seems way better than Wailing Soul. in
It's
my
good with the
opinion.
Mark of the Wild, I'll give you that.
And we only have 1 3-drop right now.
Yeah, but we only have... we have like 1 real 4-drop, because the Spellbreaker's not exactly a 4-drop.
I just think the Questing Adventurer is a way better pick than Wailing Soul personally.
It has the potential to become amazing, sure.
I just don't like all my creatures getting silenced.
I mean, Wailing Soul's like you're basically picking it just for stats.
Right.
Yeah, that's really the reason why I was thinking about picking it.
Well, I mean, Questing Adventure is just better.
Yeah, Wailing Souls is like a bad Taj Dingo in this type of situation, I feel. I personally,
I mean, if we had like Ancient Watchers,
I'm going to
sure.
say Questing Adventure is my vote.
Sure, we'll take the Questing.
Watch just get Ancient Watcher.
So now we have Power of the Wild, Scarlet Crusader, and Nightblade, which, I mean, both Scarlet Crusader and Power of the Wild are good.
Nightblade is not really a consideration.
Yeah, Nightblade's kind of that card you just need 5, like, beefier creatures.
It's
you need
actually
5 slot.
a decent card in a hunter list, though.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
but this isn't a hunter list, so that's why it's not really a consideration.
Yeah.
I do think we take the Power of the Wild, just because it has that potential to be insane. And Scarlet Crusader dies to a lot of mages, and there's a lot of mages in Arena.
Yeah, it does to a lot of things. That's shamans, too.
True.
So we have a Spiteful Smith, Southsea Deckhand, and Mark of Nature.
Well, we don't take a Southsea Deckhand because we already have a Worgen Infiltrator, and we really don't want to take 2 1s.
This is honestly pretty tough for me because, I mean, you have the 5-mana 4/6. The enrage doesn't even matter in this deck. But we don't have 5s. We have a 5-mana 4/6, and we also have a Mark of Nature.
We were gonna pick a Wailing Souls for stats.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't we take?
Yeah, this guy is
Spiteful
really
Smith?
like,
Yeah,
he's really good.
He's better than the Wailing
We have
Souls, for
0
sure.
5s too.
Yeah. Do you think it's better than the Mark of Nature?
Oh yeah, by miles.
Yeah.
It is, especially in this slot, just because we have 0 5-drops right now.
We
It's
also
basically-
don't have any taunts. We have, like, the Mark of the Wild.
It's
that's
basically
fine.
like a worse Druid of the Claw.
Okay.
4/6.
Yeah, like I said, I'm on the edge of both of them.
Yeah,
They're both-
I just think like if we were gonna pick a Wailing Souls, which is worse than that. Oh,
So this one,
this one's actually kind of tough.
yeah, this
but
one is pretty
Yeah.
tough. It's we have Harvest Golem, Frostwolf Grunts, Crossout Scratch Scratch, and we have Ironbark Protector. So it's really between Harvest Golem and Ironbark Protector.
So a solid 2/3 that gives you a 2/1 when it dies, or an 8/8 taunt.
Right, right. I definitely think we need the 8/8 with taunt more than the.
I don't know. I kind of like Harvest Golem.
Well, I think we need a bomb. Because right now, all we have for a bomb is Ancient of Lore. But
What's a bomb?
Ancient of Lore finds us our bombs, which our 8 mana 8/8 is our bomb.
Sure.
Yeah, I
We're
like
probably
the-
gonna get offered one next pick.
Hopefully we get another Harvest Golem, though. That would be sweet. Or get a Harvest Golem.
Yeah. So we have Amani Berserker, Raging Worgen, and Power of the Wild.
I think it's one of the 2-drops. Raging Worgen is decent for its stats, but it's still a 3 mana 3/3, so it dies to just like
Wrath.
every 2 mana creature or every 1 or 2 mana removal spell. So that's why I feel like one of the 2 mana drops are just better. Since we already have a Power of the Wild, I don't think it's the Power of the Wild. And also Amani Berserker is just a pretty solid 2 mana 2/3. So
I have to say I disagree. I think another Power of the Wild's really good. I mean, an Amani Berserker is good too. I think so, but still having that option is.
I mean, against druids, the Berserker is really awkward to swipe against.
Yeah.
I mean, that's saying you get paired to hunter druids all day.
Right.
But
But
it's
we
even decent against.
This is a pretty tough one, I'd say, though.
It's,
we don't get.
I'm not like completely sold on one or the other.
Usually I don't see opponents with 2/3s. I see them with 3/2s. So like, either one of these is gonna trade with their 2-drop. But Amani Berserker does have that potential to just eat something and get some extra points of damage in.
I don't know, Paul. I say Mark of the Wild. What do you say, Paul?
Or Power of the Wild, I mean.
Power of the Wild, yeah, sorry.
I like all these cards, but
Well, Raging Worgen is definitely the worst out of the
that's a mage card.
Yeah, I mean, so isn't Amani, but like, Raging Worgen's still not that great. It's probably better in a warrior deck when you have those the 2/3 for 3 that hastes creatures.
I like I like Power of the Wild because of the utility. We
Yeah.
don't have any token makers. That's the problem.
We have
with it.
Haunted Creeper.
Oh.
Yeah, it's something, I guess.
The way I see it, Power of the Wild gets its value if you have 3 bodies on the table and you can give them all +1/+1.
I guess. I mean, you can try it. I'm not opposed to either one.
Yeah, they're both good. I prefer the Power of the Wild, personally.
They're both like basically the same pick, but I guess the Power of the Wild does have
I mean,
That
if we
potential to-
took that Harvest Golem,
does give you that potential to actually like get better value like when you have a bunch of creatures out on the table.
Yeah,
I would have got greedy. I would have taken the Harvest Golem.
I would never have taken the Harvest Golem because you
No.
need bombs way before you need any of that.
Whoa.
So, an Earthen Ring Farseer, Undertaker, Grimscale Oracle.
Yeah, now what about that Harvest Golem?
Yeah, and our situational Undertaker would have been insane, right?
And you just
With,
don't
like,
take Undertaker
one
in
Death
arena
Rattle.
in
Hey, I took Savage Roar yesterday, and Force of Nature just came to me.
Earthen Ring
that
Farseer.
doesn't mean the same thing
Yeah.
with the Harvest Golem and Undertaker.
I think Earthen Ring Farseer is the pick. Grimscale Oracle, not even close.
Wait, how many Death Rattles?
Undertaker,
do we
we
have?
only have one
One.
Death Rattle.
We have
One.
one.
one
We
Death
would've had
Rattle.
two.
Yeah, we would have had 2, and we still would have not taken the Undertaker had we had 2 Death Rattles.
Yeah, let's go Farseer. No, I mean, that Murloc is terrible.
Could have gone Murlocs.
Whoa.
So now we have Starfire, Chillwind Yeti, and Mark of Nature.
These are all 3 solid cards, but there's definitely one that stands out more than the other 2.
I like the Chillwind Yeti.
I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah.
We need a Yeti.
Just top picked this year for Hearthstone for a reason.
Garbo.
This is the garbage pass right here. We got a Morgsan War. Is that even how you say it? Morgsan Warrior, the 1/7 with taunt for 4.
Mogushan?
Mogushan Warrior. The Corehound, the 7 mana 9/5 beast, and we also got the amazing Shield Bearer, the 1 mana 0/4 with taunt. Not really, just kidding.
So we get one of the awful taunts in the game, or we get an awful 7 mana 9/5.
Honestly,
we go with
I
the
think you
awful
go with the
9/5.
1/7.
Do we go with?
Do you?
I was saying the 1/7 too. I was thinking
Because
like
you have Mark of the Wild. Like he can be something.
Well, we only have one bomb still, and that would be our
That's like not even a bomb. That card's just
Ironberg
bad.
Protector is not a bomb.
No, Corehound.
Corehound is fine.
Ugh.
I think
Starfire.
I think the other two cards are not even like close because they don't even trade for value, whereas Corehound at least trades for value.
I think the Warden builds up your board though.
I mean, we can go with Corehound and prove Dave wrong.
I mean, it's a fine card. It sometimes will just be the 9 damage that you need.
I'm honestly pretty neutral on all these cards, so
Yeah,
if you feel strongly about this Corehound, go for it.
I literally
out
don't
of these
care.
3 choices, I think Corehound is definitely the pick. But
Sure.
that's because I've never had a decent Mogashan deck with. You'd only really want that, I guess, in the priest deck, and that would be to like combo Inner Rage it. But even then, that just feels like a pipe dream. So I just feel like taking stats. Is
Pretty good.
Sure.
He's pretty good in Mage.
So we have Healing Touch, Starfire, and Haunted Creeper. So Healing Touch I think is scratched here. Starfire and Haunted Creeper are both really good cards. This is a tough pick.
We only have one 6-drop right now, so the Starfire is really a consideration. But I do think we take a 2-drop and a second Haunted Creeper here, especially since we have 2 Power of the Wilds right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Do it.
Let's build Token Druid.
So we got a Novice Engineer, a Fen Creeper, and a Reckless Rocketeer, which is just immediately crossed off the list.
Yeah, Fen Creeper.
We don't really have any card draw. It'd be good to get some card draw, but Fen Creeper is just...
We do have card draw. We have Ancient of Lore.
Oh, yeah, we do
we
have
need
Ancient of
5.
The best Druid card draw.
We do need 5 drops, so definitely the Fen Creeper here.
And Fen Creeper is one of the best 5-drops too, so...
So we got Injured Blade Master, Twilight Drake, and Ravenholt Assassin.
That card's better than Corehound.
It's a rare, yeah, of course. It's better than Corehound. It's a 7/5 stealth. So it's either Twilight Drake or it's Injured Blade Master.
Wait, what?
It's either Twilight Drake or it's Injured Blade Master, right?
Yeah.
Blade Master?
I mean, it's fine.
We just don't have any... Well, we do have the 2 Earthen Rings, so it's not bad.
That's why I like the Blade Master, actually.
And Twilight Drake, it doesn't seem very viable because you're trying to play creatures early in the game. It's just not going to be that big.
We're not playing Warlock.
Yeah.
We don't have the
I mean, we just don't have the
cards.
draw card mechanic very easily at our disposal.
So I think this pick is definitely a Blade Master.
Yeah. We got a Claw, a Scarlet Crusader, and Wrath. This is pretty obvious to me. When you see the Wrath, you just take it.
Scarlet Crusader is really good, though, too. I
Yeah.
mean, not good against mages, like we said before, but...
Wrath.
Yeah. There's few cards in
That
Druid
says draw a card on it.
that are of that rarity.
I'm not even going to move
there's
my cursor.
Corehound,
Whoa, what happened?
Corehound, Acolyte of Pain, and Silverhand Knight.
This one's pretty easy,
This one's
We
pretty...
need 5s.
But Acolyte of Pain draws cards, but Silverhand Knight is better stats for its mana, so...
Yeah. I mean, the only reason
You
I
can't
could
abuse
see...
the Acolyte anyway.
The only way I could see you abusing
Wrath
it is like Mark of the Wild and like the Power of the Wild. Like that's the only way to abuse it. I just don't think it's viable enough. I think the Silverhand Knight for sure.
What's the other one? Mark of Nature? We didn't take it.
Yeah,
but
we didn't take the.
That
Mark
would be
of
another
Nature.
card that would abuse Acolyte of Pain, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But Silverhand Knight is definitely solid.
We need swipes.
Yeah.
We have Stormwind Champion, Undertaker, and Nightblade. Stormwind Champion not close. We don't need Undertaker. We don't need Nightblade.
And we have double Haunted Creepers, so...
And we have double Haunted Creeper.
That sounds sweet.
I hope we get some innervates.
Ooh.
Mad Bomber, Lord of the Arena, Amani Berserker.
This
Ooh.
one's tough. those
Mad Bomber
are too good
or
to
Amani Berserker.
I like Berserker better.
Yeah, I like Berserker
Because
better.
you have creepers.
I don't know. I like Mad Bomber because you do have the hero ability to back it up. So, like, you could go turn 4, Mad Bomber, nick
Rely.
something for 1 or 2.
I don't like
Rely
it.
on the RNG and
I don't like it because what if your opponent goes turn 1 coin Berserker and now you can't even play Mad Bomber anymore?
You can. They just trade and you eat 5 damage. That's fine.
I mean, they're
Your
not
hero
going to
ability gains
trade.
a life.
They're not going to trade. They're going to deal you 5 damage.
Well, you're going to trade, obviously.
Well, yeah, but in the
I mean, I like both, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm honestly pretty neutral, but you feel strongly about the Monty Berserker?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go with the Monty Berserker.
You don't want to go all Asia on us and get this Mad Bomber and call on the RNG gods?
I mean, I just don't like it because it never works in my favor.
Woo!
So we got an Ogre Magi,
Ooh,
a Savage
that's-
Roar, and a
yeah.
Silver Moon Guardian. I honestly like the Savage Roar here.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Ogre Magi is pretty good, and Silver Moon Guardian is a card that we just talked about a little while ago with that redemption card.
Yeah.
But yeah, Savage Roar definitely does set us up to win more games.
We need a Violet teacher.
We needed a way to close out games, and Savage Roar
We
was
need
that
a lot of
card.
things. We need Innervate, we need Swipe.
How about a swipe?
Ooh, Zombie Chow.
Ooh, so we got Shield Bearer, Zombie Chow, and Nightblade. I think Zombie Chow is just the
Not even
obvious
close.
pick.
Yeah, Nightblade's not even good, and Shield Bearer is not a card.
That's our third shield bearer.
Well, Poison the
Yeah.
Seeds, Innervate, and Thrallmore Farseer. I think Innervate. I don't like any of these other cards.
Well, we get Thrallmar Farseer and then Mark of the Wild. That sounds pretty sweet, doesn't it? Or if we got Mark of Nature for it, wow, it's a lot of damage, right?
I like Innervate.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Right.
So we got Wrath, Frost Wolf, Grunt, and Bloodsail Raider.
So we're gonna take a second Wrath.
Yeah, take the second Wrath.
Bloodsail Raider's pretty good though too.
Yeah. So we got Frostwolf Grunt again, Healing Touch again, and Ventrico Mercenary.
I
think-
love Ventrico Merc.
You know, I've heard a lot of people say Ventrico Merc is not good in Arena, but they're wrong.
It's insane. It's a bomb.
Let's just be honest, they're wrong. It's
You can
really
turn three
good.
it too.
Yeah.
You can't snowball and cast them like a bunch of them.
So we're on our last pick here, and we've got awesome cards.
Live the dream again.
So
I don't know if we do.
this is really interesting. We got an Ancient of War, a Faceless Manipulator, and a Force of Nature. This is
So
really...
can we rule out this Faceless Manipulator at the very least?
Yeah, this
Okay.
Faceless Manipulator is ruled out for sure. So this is interesting because we have a lot of bombs. So the Ancient of War, I feel like, is more clunky. We have like the Iron Bark, we have the Silver Wind Champion, the Core Hound, like
Yeah.
We have
Archmage,
1/6.
Ancient of War. Like wow, a lot of
We have
Heavy.
1/6. It's like
1/6.
I don't think it's close.
But Ancient of War is insane in Arena too.
Oh yeah,
It's probably the second best card next to Ancient of War.
we already have the Savage Roar plus the token makers.
Oh, I know.
Force of Nature kills people. Who cares about the best creature in Arena when you can kill people?
this
Well, I
may
mean,
be
like, when
the
Ancient-
hardest pick I've ever seen.
When Ancient of War
Arena.
can become like a 3-for-1, I'd say it's a decent enough
I
consideration.
don't know.
to,
When you can go
sit there
when
for
you
a
can go
minute.
turn 9, deal you 14, die. I'd rather win.
Deal you 14 is not always die though.
I mean,
You're making a lot
times-
of trades in Arena.
Well, I mean, you have like Haunted Creeper. You have value cards. Like, I really wish we picked that Harvest Golem.
We don't have that many value cards.
I still think that the Iron Bark Protector was the better choice. I'm gonna stand by that because, let's face it.
Even after it unfolded.
Do you know the bread rule? Like, you go with the Iron Bark Protector. You're gonna
Bread.
go with your bombs first.
Removal, evasion, attack, and then defense. Right? That's how you spell bread?
I mean,
But that was so early in the game that it's like you can't choose now.
yeah, but if you could do it all over again, you would do
I would
it.
still go with the Iron Bark Protector.
So what do we think about the bread rule for this pick?
I mean, it's last pick. You have the combo.
We don't need the combo.
You have no swipes. You might need that Force of Nature to kill something.
That's
a
true.
removal.
I think the Force of Nature.
How is Ancient of War not a piece of removal?
Dude, that thing gets silenced and Shadow Word Death, and there's
there's-
a billion ways to deal with it. You can't deal with a Force of Nature unless
I
they
like the
have
Force of
counterspell.
Nature personally.
I really like the Ancient of War. Just because a 7/10 taunt is really difficult for your opponents to usually deal with. They're both really good and difficult choices to make right now. I wish we were not making this choice.
I stand by. So wait, how do you spell bread? Bombs removal. There's a removal.
Wait, but bomb comes first?
We have bombs already, so
Yeah,
removal
we have
comes
lots
next.
of bombs.
Yeah, but we also have, like, double wrath.
We have 1/6.
This isn't constructed. This is arena. We need to be fast. I agree with the force.
We have 1/6.
We don't have any mass removal.
Dude, if we pick that 7, our curve is gonna look like garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, our curve kind of already looks like garbage.
I mean, but don't make it any worse.
But that 7, I don't think is gonna, like, make our curve that much different.
Alright, so in my arena that I just finished a couple days ago when I had the force, I went 8-3. Like, you kill people like 50% of the time with that. And we don't even have removal. Swipe. It's not we don't
I mean,
have
I'm with the
swipe.
force on this one too.
Yeah, force.
I'm pretty sure Ancient of War is, like, the strongest card in Druid other than Ancient of Lore. So that's why I keep saying it. But I'll go with the Force of Nature, because it's fine. But I feel
Removal.
like...
I just feel like we have so many bombs that we don't need it. Like, it's really good. Don't get me wrong. I'll agree.
Hey,
It's
what if
probably-
you have?
We have
what if
2
you have
bombs at the moment, which is Storm Champion
We have
and
Core
Ironbark
Hound.
Protector.
We have
Corehound
Core
is not-
Hound.
It's a
Corehound
bomb.
is not a bomb.
But it's a lot of mana to put out a big creature.
Ancient
That's a
of
bomb.
Lore is a bomb.
Corehound is, like, on the Venture Co. Merc side, but worse.
Venture Co. That's
Is a
another
bomb.
bomb.
Yeah, but then, okay, so we have 3 bombs in the deck.
We
How
have
many
one-
bombs do you need?
Okay, let's
4.
just say bomb means a good amount of mana. We have a lot of 7+ cards. Like, look at our 6 slot and look at our 7 slot.
True.
The 6 fits our
I understand
curve
that.
so much better.
What if we have a Stormwind champion out and we forced and then Savage Roar? How much damage is that? That's like 15, right?
Alright, so we went with the Force of Nature. And,
Dave's not happy about it.
I still
Dave's
think
not really
Ancient of
happy
War
about it.
is one of the strongest cards.
But, yeah, that concludes our podcast. So, this video will be uploaded onto YouTube very shortly. And, we will have this up there for you. Check us out on Facebook. We are at facebook.com/The Weekly Grind Podcast. We're on Tumblr at theweeklygrindpodcast.tumblr.com. You can also find us on Twitter and on iTunes. Both those links are on our Facebook and on YouTube as well, which you can also find on our Facebook. But yeah, check out our Facebook. We'll have all these deck lists posted. We will have this arena up there. We'll have the podcast up there. It'll all be on our Facebook. If you want to find everything that we have posted, it's on our Facebook, I guarantee.
Or on our Tumblr.
Tumblr, yeah, it has most of it at least.
Has at least 80% of what our Facebook has.
Yes, yes. But yeah, check out our Tumblr, check out our Facebook. And yeah, send us, if you have any reviews, comments, you want to tell Paul how cute he is, you can send it to our email at theweeklygrindpodcast@gmail.com.
And if you're really curious about how Josh's hair looks,
Well, we have a couple of videos
you can
now.
you can look him up and
He probably touches
he looks
his
like
hair
he
in
looks
those
like the
videos.
guy from
Probably.
Remember the Titans.
Thanks, Paul.
I'm not even sure what that means.
The guy that he has the really long hair and
Really?
from California.
Wow.
Well, and he got a bunch of crap because they thought he was like into men. So they made him cut his hair, and he would always touch his hair. And some guy was like, those rubbing your hair is not gonna make your golden locks grow back or whatever. Watch it.
Yeah, the girlfriend just to cover up, you know.
Yeah, we know.
But anyways, so yeah, you can find us on Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, socialmedia.com, everywhere. And this concludes our podcast
Everywhere.
this week.
Socialmedia.com, right, Paul?
Basically,
We should have one up next week. We may not, though, so I apologize. This may be 2 weeks till we have the next podcast. I'll be at Rhode Island Comic Con myself. These gentlemen may make a podcast, or we may just switch the date. So
maybe we'll just make a video and play games.
yeah, we'll at least have some content uploaded for you, so you at least have something to watch or something to listen to.
Real men don't go to Comic-Con.
I mean, I'm considering it.
Oh, okay.
2-1, Paul. What do you say? This is like force of nature.
it's in
Nation.
Rhode
Real
Island.
men don't go to Comic-Con.
It's in Rhode Island. It's only like 15 minutes away from
But
your
how
house.
much money is it?
I don't know, like $30 or $40 probably.
Yeah.
Well, I can play Hearthstone all day for free. for
Yeah, but
free.
you'd rather spend $25 for a Naxxramas release.
Anyway,
One time.
I'm sure
This is
you
a
guys.
one-time for...
That's not true. Next year it will happen again.
You know what? What do you guys think? Email us and tell us if Comic Cons are for real men. Tell us.
Oh,
Are they-
of course everyone's gonna say they are.
Maybe we should have a poll posted about this. I think we will now, Paul.
I don't know. If
Don't you
everyone
just
that
start it?
went was a sexy chick, maybe. I mean, but
Just-
dude,
Why can't it be a sexy man, Paul?
Yeah, what's wrong?
think about sexy men.
Think outside the box, Paul. What's your problem?
Think about the box I live in.
But anyways,
Yeah,
so this
that's
concludes our podcast this week. I am Spirit Bomb.
I am Dave, Wings of Wax.
And I'm Paul Rice Cakes. Josh should change his name to like
Goldilocks.
yeah, and then dye your hair.
Guys, I'm sorry, but Spirit Bomb's just too awesome.
I
Anyways,
don't
thank
agree.
you for listening this week. Paul's not a Dragon Ball Z fan, and
Yeah, not.
grind on, guys. Have a great week.
Grind
Peace.
on.